our way back to our seats. We're going to get started in 1 minute.
Happy birthday, Dan.
Not mine. Wait, that's not yet.
All right, everyone. It is 3:30 sharp, so we're going to go ahead and start the Enterprise Authority meeting. We'll start with roll call, please.
Sean Borowitz. Here. Lana Cosley-Smith.
Here.
Isaac McKechnie. Kimberly Hampton.
Here.
Aaron Paymont. Michael McCurchie.
Here.
Rob McGrory.
Here.
Kimberly Gervell.
Here.
Larry Barlow.
Here.
Bridget Sorensen.
Here.
Tyler LaPlante. Oops. Kimberly Lee.
Here.
Austin Mose.
I'm here. Okay, guys, we have a quorum. I'd like to entertain a motion to excuse Tyler's absence as he's representing the Sioux Tribe at NCAI.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, a motion by Larry, supported by Rob. Those in support signify by saying aye. Those opposed, those abstaining, motion carries and his absence is excused. That brings us to the approval of the agenda. On today's agenda, we have 3 items. We have minutes from 5/19 of 26. We have a resolution titled Team Member Manual, PTO Accruals and Holidays, and a resolution titled Amending Enterprise Team Member Manual. With that, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
Motion.
Motion by Larry,
Support.
support by Kim. Any discussion on the proposed agenda? Hearing none, those in support signify by saying aye. Those opposed, those abstaining, motion carries and the agenda is adopted, which brings us to the first item, which are minutes from 5/19 of 26. Is there a motion to accept them? Motion from Isaac,
Support.
support by Larry. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, those in support signify by saying aye. Those opposed, those abstaining, motion carries. That brings us to our first resolution, and that's titled Team Member Manual, PTO Accruals and Holidays.
Now therefore be resolved that the Business Board of the Sioux Tribe Enterprise Authority hereby approves and adopts the following sector paid time off, accruals, and holiday attachments as supplemental and integral components of the Enterprise Team Member Manual, Corporate Operations Sector, Enterprise Development Corporation, Real Estate Sector, Demwanig Development and Sawyer Village, Retail Gitchy Home and Auto, Mid-Jim Sioux, Mid-Jim Sittingness, and Mid-Jim Marquette, Hospitality Sector, White Pine Lodge, Recreation Sector, Bear on the Mountain Golf Course, and Tanglewood Marsh Golf Course. Each listed attached shall be incorporated by reference and attached to the RIS for formal record-keeping purposes. Be it further resolved that the Chief Executive Officer of Enterprise Operations is authorized to implement the sector PTO attachments incorporated into the Enterprise Team Member Manual in accordance with operational readiness and the establishment of Enterprise Human Resources Systems necessary to administer the policies contained therein. Be it finally resolved that the Chief Executive Officer shall administer the PTO policies contained in the sector PTO attachments consistent with the Enterprise Authority governance, applicable law, and the Enterprise Team Member Manual.
Motion by Isaac, support by Larry. Dan, could you explain what this resolution is to our membership?
Yes, this resolution seeks to adopt the Enterprise PTO and holiday attachments. Each is standardized per sector. This aligns leave with those commercial business sectors while preserving sector-specific operational requirements. The policy consolidates, more specifically, existing vacation, sick leave, all into PTO and a single holiday attachment. Now, there's multiple different holidays at different enterprises. There is a set holiday schedule in all of the PTO attachments. Although there are 5 attachments, there are an attachment per sector, so there is some differences there. The intent of consolidating from sector and reducing the number of PTO attachments is to improve administration consistency and implementation efficiency. And also to clarify, although we will pass this today, the current vacation and accruals that were with the old manual will be used for the first few months of enterprise HR due to the fact that we're configuring the new HRIS system and payroll system, ADP, but we can build these configurations in that new system once we have an approved PTO policy.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Any questions, comments by the board? I see Aaron's hand up. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, I'm going to try to practice coming online, trying to get used to it. So I would say that when the board elected to establish our economic development charter, this was the direction that we unanimously decided to move in. And it seemed like we took like a little divergence from that last week, and it got a little political. But this is what we had directed the EDC structure to come up with. And so this is fitting with the direction that we gave the EDC. So it's consistent with what we've requested. So I will be supporting it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Rob?
I just want to say that thank you to Dan for taking our input and making the changes that we suggested. And like I had already apologized for changing vote last minute on the last one, but I did notice something that I would normally advocate for that I did miss, so I'll take responsibility for that, and I would cast the vote the same every time. And also thank you for the Indigenous Day recognition.
Yeah, and again, after hearing some of the considerations, again, they weren't the same before as far as holiday schedules. We did clarify that and include the same holiday schedule in the new PTO. So no, I understand there was a misalignment there, but I believe I incorporated considerations into this, so thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Lana?
Yeah, I appreciate that, Dan, too, because even though you didn't have the full support the first time, after the input and suggestions, and it was a good exercise in going through policies and major changes that we have been talked about for a very long time. So in the end, it panned out. It doesn't have to be a negative. It's a positive because we did talk about everything, and we were able to talk to our membership employees about that and get their input. So thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, did I miss anyone's hands?
Request for a roll call vote.
Yeah, we are. Roll call, please.
Rob McGrory. Sorry.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Tyler. Oops, Tyler's not here. Larry.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. That brings us to the last resolution on the agenda. It is titled Amending Enterprise Team Member Manual.
Now therefore be resolved that the Sioux Tribe Enterprise Authority hereby approves and adopts the amended Enterprise Team Member Manual as the personnel policy framework governing team members of Sioux Tribe Enterprises, superseding any previously adopted version of the Enterprise Team Member Manual. Be it further resolved that the Chief Executive Officer of Enterprise Operations is authorized to implement the revised Enterprise Team Member Manual in accordance with operational readiness. Be it finally resolved that the Chief Executive Officer shall administer the policies contained within the revised Enterprise Team Member Manual consistent with Enterprise Authority governance, applicable law, and the commercial operating objectives of the Sioux Tribe Enterprises.
Motion.
Motion by Isaac, support by Larry. Dan, could you explain this resolution as well to our membership?
Yes, in March, we approved the Enterprise HR manual. That was in structure with the intent that we would revisit it once I had an HR professional in that. In June, we are improving the presentation, usability, and employee-facing components of that structure. This is not a replacement of the manual adopted in March. This is the next phase of implementation. March established operational and governance framework. This just improves on this too for employee front-facing features, expands into brand and cultural values of the EDC brand values, and that's really what it is, an extension of the March manual.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, comments by the board? Isaac?
Hey, Dan, this goes to show you that when we decided to reorganize the EDC and with your leadership and your great team, we have made some humongous strides with the EDC for the tribe. So I'm glad we are a part of that, and I thank you and your staff.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Isaac. Yes. Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Sean. Kimberly Gravel.
Motion carries. That concludes all the items that we had for today's agenda. Without objection, we will adjourn the Enterprise Authority meeting. And seeing no objections, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
And thanks, Dan. So while we're all here, let's transition to agenda review, because after that, we're on recess until the meeting. Andrew, you want to come up first? So the first 1, 2, 3, 4 resolutions on your sponsor list, we're going to go through. Lana stated that we've workshopped them several times. But the first one we want to do agenda review with is awarding cleaning contract to Hunt's Maintenance and Service.
Okay. So, that sounded weird. This is to award our cleaning contract that we've bid out for roughly four years now to Hunt's Maintenance and Services. We did add buildings to it because through the course of the last cycle, we've added buildings to the tribe. And there has also been some identification from health that they might want additional help when they have staffing vacancies and stuff. So this did get bid out. Hunt's Maintenance was $1 million less than the closest company next to him. So we're looking to establish a 3-year agreement with him, which will be a total of $1.7 million, which is for an annual of $586,652.
So
And this is
we went
unit-wide.
we went through a procurement policy. This was the lowest bidder by $1 million. So we either approve this or we hire a bunch of internal staff to keep these buildings clean, correct?
Yeah, but even with that situation, we're currently dealing with multiple buildings that that have staff that we already employ, but are either gone or out or are vacant. So we have to backfill that, and we're utilizing this kind of agreement for that.
Okay, much appreciated, Andrew. Any questions, comments from the board? Isaac?
Can we get a list of buildings?
Yes, I can, do you want me to email that to you guys?
Also, Andrew, down at Sugar
If you
Island.
could, yeah.
Okay.
Just before I lose you, I want to just comment. Down on Sugar Island, they're doing the drain field and septic tank. Can you just make sure that that doesn't affect where they're going to have the powwow? And also, me and my brother took the liberty of putting a couple loads of gravel on the road for you because it was kind of getting tore up. Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, go ahead, Mike.
I guess I'm looking for that list of buildings as well, because this seems like a lot of, I want to understand the other aspect, though. You're saying that you're going to fill in for other people when they're gone, so how is that falling under facilities when those buildings have people there? I guess, shouldn't they be contracting to fill in those vacancies rather than falling back onto facilities to facilitate that? It seems like we're double booking somewhere in there, and it, like, that shouldn't fall on you. If there's someone there that's supposed to be cleaning those facilities and there you have a vacancy or whatnot, I'm just trying to understand that aspect.
That's a good question. For example, one of them is Naganagizik. So in the past, we've had vacancies in those positions, and there have been no one to take care of the building. So we budget it in the building budget, but we don't automatically use that. So if there's no need for it, we don't use it. So this resolution is the worst case. If we fully used every building to its maximum budget is what this is for, but it's not what we're actually going to utilize them.
Okay. You good, Mike? Yeah. So the buildings probably belong to facilities.
Yes.
I think that's what he's getting at. So if like a building only has one maintenance worker and that maintenance worker might be on a 2-week vacation, facilities will utilize one of their guys through the contract with Hunts to keep it clean. Am I understanding that right?
Yeah, I guess I'm sorry, I did not explain that the best. But yes, that's what the idea is, that we have a backup plan set up for buildings, like in St. Agnes right now, we have a guy out, and we still have to provide services for it, so we would utilize this vendor for it.
Just a follow-up
Yeah,
clarification.
go ahead, then Bridget.
So just making sure then it's not to supplement. We're not going to have someone who's there already and be using it. It's
No.
just going to be in those issues of vacancies. And we'll be getting a buildings list for the
Yes.
normal ones
Yep,
then?
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and as tenants of facilities, they pay space costs. You could look at this as a service for being renters. Bridget?
So Andrew, is Hunt's out of Sault Ste. Marie?
Yes.
So I know it would be more difficult, and I don't know if we thought about this, but what about, would it be cheaper to, because I saw some of these with limited were cheaper, if each of the 5 units had their own, would it be cheaper? Because are we paying a lot in like travel cost with the travel and the wage of the person to get to these locations?
We did receive bids, and I have historically plucked whatever was the cheapest overall for whatever building, and awarded it that way. But the West End bid in the, on the RIS is the, I believe, AAA janitorial, which was on the West End, was $1 million for the West End buildings over there. And Hunt's maintenance is $586,000 was everything. All of the West End, the Sioux, the South, everything.
You good, Bridget? Okay. For what it's worth, I mean, Hunt's has a contract to also clean admin. They do a good job. I mean, if anyone's ever been an admin, you'll never find a pile of garbage in the corner or anything like that. They take a lot of pride in their work, so I'm supportive. Final questions, comments on this? Okay, so let's move on then. I appreciate it, Andrew. The next one will be authorizing the Health Division to apply for Indian Health Services Small Ambulatory Program funding. Annie, are you covering this, or is James or someone else from the Health Division?
Yes, this is Annie. I'll be covering it.
Okay.
This is Annie Thiebert, Project Manager for the Health Division. This is a requirement of this funding source to have a resolution attached to the application. This funding opportunity, like Austin said, a small ambulatory program. It's up to $3.5 million, and that will help us pay for the Sault Ste. Marie Health Center Annex and Expansion Project.
Thanks, Annie. Appreciate it. Any questions, comments? Okay, Bridget?
I don't know if this relates to any of this, but have we just purchased this property, so what is the status on putting it into trust? And does that affect anything we're doing?
This grant application is for the actual health center itself to add that 30,000 square feet. The Roy property is across the street, and we are working on architecture and engineering right now. That just began, and I think we are holding off on doing the trust land status because I believe that if there's active construction going on, it will hold that application up. So the Health Division has contracted with the EDC to work with Letitia on the trust land application process.
Yeah, so I was at that property, I want to say yesterday. They did a blessing with traditional medicine. I was there, did a walkthrough. It's in good shape. It's going to require renovation like any building when you renovate it to provide medical services or admin space for the Health Division. I wasn't aware of the plan to stall putting it in a trust, but if that's the recommendation, I support it. And I don't know where they're at with the RFP in terms of the renovation, but like Annie stated, these funds aren't for that. Aaron?
Hey, so I would double check on NEPA requirements, because if it is gonna go into trust, it arguably is contiguous, because it's across the road. But that's gonna be one of the first questions if we apply for trust, is whether or not we follow the NEPA process. So, go ahead.
Yep, we did. We did a phase one. There was some minor environmental issues, and we completed a phase two, and that work is done. Actually, the seller paid for the phase two.
So I don't think that there's an issue with putting it in trust, but maybe, so who handles that now? Is that Letitia or is it Helen?
I believe it's Letitia, and an earlier email led me to believe that if we were actively doing construction, that it would slow down the process. But like I said, I'm not 100% sure if that is, Helen's gonna be working with Letitia on that.
Could you guys double
So
check?
Ryan, if you could check with the regional office to see if there's anything that would slow it down. I'm not aware of anything that would slow it down, because if you've done the NEPA, those are the only two things I would be concerned about. But if you've done those, then it's probably gonna be smooth. So.
Yeah, we'll check on it again, Aaron. The reason it was flagged is because several years ago, I can't remember the property now, I apologize, but we did have some property we were putting in a trust, and we're doing work on it, and it did hold up the process. But we'll check on it, and we'll help push it through as quickly as possible on our end, for sure. So.
Okay, anyone else? All right, hearing none, let's move on to the next resolution, which is titled Health Division Approving Contractor for Flooring Project Manistee Health Center.
This is Annie again. I will be presenting this to you. This is a BEMA-funded project that we accepted funding from Indian Health Services in 2025. It was a $1.4 million grant, and it was spread across, I believe, 4 different health centers. We procured the flooring portion of this project, well, Nicole did, and JAMA Development was the lowest bidder. So their work that they're going to be doing is replacing 7,387 square feet of the Manistee Health Division flooring.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, comments on this? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the next resolution. Thank you, Annie. It's titled Residential Land Lease Modification, Joseph Suggett Sr. and Amy Pollard. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I just have a standard question pertaining to the contracts when we enter into them, because I know we've talked about it for years and years. Is it standard now and across the board that when we enter into, like such as this flooring contract, and I'm just talking about this one in general for the question, that there's timelines put in and penalties if they don't get the job done, then expectations after, like a guarantee on that, in all of our contracts now? Because I know we've had that discussion in the past.
Are you asking me?
I'm asking, probably you.
Probably have to be,
Okay.
hold on.
Maybe that's just no. In general question, whoever can answer that, maybe, and we don't have to answer it now, but if that is something we always put in there, Ryan, expectations, timelines, and guarantees.
It's going to depend on the contract, like what exactly the language is, but there always is what the contractual obligations are and failure to perform. We always have that, but that'll vary widely based on who we're contracting with and what the project is. But we do always have expectations and what the remedies are if the contractor does not meet those expectations, yes.
And I'll talk more to you about it. Okay, thank you.
In Lana, that's called liquidated damages, but
Okay.
if you apply those liquidated damages, the contractors just apply it to the bid, so it's kind of a catch-22.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Helen.
Helen Wilkins. This is a resolution to authorize the tribal chairman and the tribal treasurer to execute a residential land lease modification for the property located at 20 John Patrick in Kinchlow. The tribal member Joseph Suggett Sr. by removing Amy Pollard from the below-mentioned land, and I do agree and consider this in the best interest of the tribe and the tribal member.
Thank you, Helen. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay, we'll move on to the next resolution then. Thank you so much. It is from the NRD, application to 2026 BIA Tribal Youth Initiative Program.
All set? Hi, everyone. Danny Fagan. I'm the director for the Natural Resources Division. We have two resolutions coming from the same general funding pool, and that's the BIA Fish, Wildlife, and Parks pool. So through this funding program, Fish, Wildlife, and Recreation, we want to apply to both the hatchery maintenance program and the Tribal Youth Initiative program. The first one is the Tribal Youth Initiative program, and we're looking to apply to up to $50,000 for a one-year project to support tribal youth hunter education across the service area and in the northern lower.
So this is really exciting. So in order to get our hunting tags, if you're a minor, you have to complete hunter safety, which up until now we haven't done. So this is an excellent opportunity to offer hunter safety in a way that highlights treaty rights and indigenous values. So super excited about this, and if you need volunteers, I'll be right there.
Cool. Well,
So-
that might be the case come August. We're hoping we get this funding, but we still are trying to move forward with working with law enforcement on at least 2 courses this year.
Okay, very good. Any questions, comments? Okay, let's move. Rob.
Will they be offered in all units?
I think we were planning to start with one in Unit 1 this year and then one further west this fall. And that's without any funding, so it's just like scraping something together. And then in the future with $50,000 to expand to other units.
Will you please reach out to Lisa Burnside to see if there's any potential for transportation under the YEA?
That's a good idea. Sure, yeah.
thank
And
you.
I'm working with Katie Schultz, our wildlife program manager, on this. She's taking the lead, but I will pass it along to her.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan.
And I'm not sure if any of you guys have any children that hunt, but these courses are few and far between. For the most part, they're offered online, where there's not really a field day. You just complete the coursework online, take the online quiz, and that's it. So to offer an in-person course is something that's really awesome. So appreciate all the work you're doing. Let's move on to your next resolution, which is application to Bureau of Indian Affairs Fish Hatchery Maintenance Program grant.
Cool, yep, thanks. This one's coming from the same overall umbrella of funding. Again, this is BIA funding. We apply for this every year. Maintenance funds ensure that our hatcheries remain operational and sustainable. And there's a lot going on out at the hatcheries right now. They're draining ponds and getting ready to stock both walleye and whitefish. But we're seeking approval to apply for funding for up to $150,000 this round. Our fisheries team does a really good job keeping a pretty long list of priorities for maintenance that needs done out at the hatcheries. And while we usually request $150,000, it's not always funded in full. And so we've been working our way down that list. But planned projects for this request would be improve a gravity run fish transfer system. That's an important feature at Barbo. Drill a second well at Barbo. We need a backup well out at the Barbo facility. And then modify Nuns Creek to incorporate stream water, which would improve homing ability for the fish that are reared there.
Awesome. So quick question, are we planning on making those community events when you pull the fry from both those ponds?
We've opened it up so that, I know the interns are heading out tomorrow.
Okay.
At 1:30, I believe Rusty's giving them a tour. But also, I think we've kind of put out a general call to the interns because we could use help when pond draining time comes, especially like those are really long days and nights. And if there are folks that are willing to like take direction and be careful, we are glad to have help. That being said, we do want to be careful because if you limit like oxygen, say for a short period of time, things can go very wrong.
Right,
But,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to consider making a flyer, I can spread it out because I think it's one of the coolest things that our tribe is engaged in. Obviously, there's a lot of misconceptions and misinformation about the impact that commercial fishermen from the tribes have on the resource. But what people don't know is that we spend so many resources, releasing these fry back into the waters, whitefish, walleye, and not a lot of tribes do it because it costs so much money. So as much as we can promote this, I think is great.
Cool. And along that line, I know Director McKechnie down, when we were at the Hessel meeting, suggested that we work with some of our own folks, Joe, and Nick Nolan now with PR, so they're going to be out, I think, capturing some video photos and putting some stuff out on this work.
Very cool. Awesome. Kim?
I was just going to say the same thing, and also if we could get on 9 and 10 or Channel 7, because you always see the sportsmen when they're putting all the fish in, but you never see the tribes.
Let's invite Jim Lee Hockey. He's a
There you go.
local, works at 9 and 10, so let's invite him out there.
Right. Is Nick Nolan listening? Just kidding.
We'll get him the word. Okay. Hey, thanks, Danny.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
it.
Ryan, Ashley, and she'll be at the.
All right, so the last resolution on our agenda for agenda review is negotiate and hire of key employees. Ryan's going to cover this until the meeting. At that time, Ashley Samuelson will.
All right, this resolution on tonight will authorize the HR director to negotiate and hire a new chief judge for the tribe. The board of directors, was it last couple weeks ago, did interviews of multiple highly qualified interviews, all of which were Native Americans of various tribes. The selected applicant, if this passes tonight, we'll start negotiations with the HR department to hire them.
Thank you, Ryan. Any questions, comments from the board?
I think we almost have to go close because you guys have to set parameters.
Okay, so we don't have any questions or comments?
You guys
We-
need to set parameters for
I know it. So let's finish up agenda review and then we'll do that. Okay, thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. So let's move into new business. So the first item that we have under new business is committee appointments. So it looks like, I might mispronounce, Jean Kennedy is going to be seeking an alternate appointment to the Unit 4 Manistee Elder Subcommittee. And from the Cultural Committee, Wayne Sums is looking for a resignation from that committee. Any questions, comments there? Bridget?
Just in general, because sometimes you don't know who the people are, and it's not like we got people knocking on the door, but a lot of times they don't tell us anything about themselves. So it just says they're interested in the committee, but, you know, maybe in the future we try to change the process and maybe have people introduce themselves to see why they may be interested or some background, because we don't know some of these people all the time.
Well, we could change the application form to where there's a question, and then we could also encourage them to attend the meeting and just introduce themselves. I think that'd be fine. Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay, so does anyone have any board concerns they want to discuss right now? Okay, go ahead, Kim. Do you want it open or closed? Because we're going to go closed to
Open's
talk
fine.
about, okay.
Open's fine. I had some members asking why we don't have security at Big Bear. And security at the Big Bear Arena. And I know at some of the bigger events, you do have law enforcement over there, but they think someone should be there at all times because of the young people that are there. So they wanted me to bring that up, and Jess, whenever she can get the answer back to us.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks,
Do you
Kim.
want this, Jess, or you got it wrote down? Okay,
Is that all of them, Kim?
that's it.
Okay, anyone else? All right, so let's go closed. We have to talk about one of the resolutions. After that, we are going to be in recess until the meeting starts at 5 o'clock. So there'll be nothing in an open session from now until the meeting at 5. It is 5 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and start this meeting. We'll start with roll call, please.
Aaron Paymont. Bridget Sorensen. Here. Kimberly Lee. Here. Sean Borowitz. Here. Larry Barlow.
Here.
Tyler LaPlante. Kimberly Hampton.
Here.
Michael McCurchy.
Here.
Kimberly Gravel.
Here.
Isaac McKechnie.
Here.
Rob McGrory.
Here.
Lana Cosley Smith.
Here.
Austin Rose.
Here. Are there any objections to excusing Aaron and Tyler's absences? They're both at NCAI right now. Okay, hearing no objection, we'll excuse both absence. On today's agenda, we have the following items. We have invocation, we have membership participation, we have presentations, and under presentations, we have life-saving awards and a presentation from the Sioux Tribe interns. We have the approval of minutes from 6/2 of '26. We have the following resolutions. Facilities CapEx FY 2026 budget modification. Health, John Hopkins Pilot Project FY 2026 budget. Big Bear / Health Third Party FY 2026 budget modification. IT Cybersecurity Grant FY 2026 and 2027 budget. Cleaning contract with Hunts Maintenance. Authorizing Health to apply Indian Health SAP. Health approving contractor for flooring project. Residential land lease modification Suggit. Application to 2026 Tribal Youth Initiative Program. Application to Fish Hatchery Maintenance Program. Negotiate and hire of key employee. And under new business, we have committee appointments / resignations. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
Motion.
Motion by Isaac, support by Larry. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in support signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion carries and the agenda is adopted, which brings us to our first item, which is invocation with Gerard from Traditional Medicine. You want to stand or sit, Gerard? Sit. All right, sit down.
Yes, make it green.
There we go. As we, sometimes, police officers, doctors, surgeons, dentists, leaderships around the table, sometimes we don't get to celebrate birthdays the way we would like to. And sometimes it's hard to say Gichinandam de Bishkayik Nungo to Gimong. And we have to get back into that kindness. I was away for 3 weeks. I learned to be kind. And one of the things that came to me was we're a sacred people, we're not a hatred people. And we have to praise each other and raise each other. And in our communities, there's a virus going around, and it's a new virus. And it's how I defined as hatred. Is we have to begin the presence of lifting and loving again, like our grandmas and our grandpas did when we were kids. That loving part of that is quite often what is missing. So those police officers, when they work to protect and secure and make sure we're safe, they might be missing out on a celebration within their own family. The same as those EMTs that drive the ambulances and fire response and all that stuff is sometimes everything's on a 2.5 second response. We don't have the patience to wait more than 3 seconds. Or we become, I guess, a little bit intolerable. So I wanted to share that about how important it is to celebrate with each other rather than conflict with each other as a people. When we behave the way Hollywood drafted us to behave, nobody wins the Academy Award. And if you look at the bottom register of 250-year celebration in America, look at what they say about Aboriginals 250 years ago. And they still think that way today. And that's what I mean by having the power to change the feel of spirit for each other. It's a difficult challenge because the world is so fast. Nobody ever asks for interpretation. They'll ask AI for the interpretation. But nobody ever comes to visits and say, what did you mean by that? So even in the community, you know, the teachers and everybody that helps our young people, help the elders, is sometimes they miss out on family celebrations too. So I think that in the long run, about understanding that is that sometimes we get injured from our own families when we forget a graduation, or we forget an anniversary, or we forget who we forget. So we're very critical. We have to work at eliminating being critical. And so I wanted to share that as an opening. Because sometimes the value that we have is right here. Walmart has made a lot of money off this. Because when our babies cry and we sound a shaker, it stops. And long before we were going, Shishawani, when it sounded, that's when life began. So when the baby hears the shaker, it goes all the way back into the womb of the mother. That's the heartbeat. It isn't the drum, it's the shaker. Shishawani. So I wanted to share that with us. Sometimes we forget the simple things by complication. It's like these baskets. I'll take those home with me. I'll smudge them. They're real nice ones, purple ones, red ones. But you think about a tree that did those, or the people that dyed those, or the oils that dyed those. So I want to say this, and this is a challenge to us. Say, Gitchanandam. 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 Ga? Cha? Nandam. Gitchanandam. Right? Gitchanandam Dabishka. Gitchanandam Dabishka. Right? Gitchanandam Dabishka Yan Nungo Gimo. Happy birthday right now to our leader. You can say that tomorrow for your own daughter. Gitchanandam Danis Nunguyaik. Happy birthday to your daughter. Gitchanandam Gadabishkayan Nigusan. Happy birthday to your son. We have to get back with praising. And when you start to praise and you begin to race, and I don't mean R-I-I-S-E. I mean raise through the sky, raise through the universe, raise all over. The ray of life, that's what it's called. So I wanted to share that with us, about how important it is to lift, spirit lift. I'm too old to pick somebody up, but I sure can raise their spirits pretty good if I have to. 미과샤가 민고야 내 기미야 내 농고야 파네야 내 니가야 내 기민고 내야 야마 내게야 아니시나메야 메네도 내가 와마네 사게야 위마게네 와메네 아니시나야 메네 사게 위마게야 위마네가 논네네 나자게야네 메네도 자게야가 위메네게야 미고쇼네게 네키네야네 기미네야 맘 미고쇼.
And Miguel Gerard, much appreciated. So the next item that we have on our agenda is membership participation. Michelle, does anyone have any forms? Okay. So if you guys would like to speak to the Board of Directors, this is the time that we reserve to do so. There's some rules associated with it, no attacking board members, no talking about things that are inappropriate, no yelling, swearing. Myself as the chairman, I reserve the right to place people in closed if it's, if it's warranted, because certain topics are better talked about in private than open. Okay, so the first one would be Janet.
Happy birthday. That's the first thing. Okay, I just want to talk to you guys because, I sat outside today, outside the workshop. Took a really long time. And I know you guys will love to know we're always conflicting with each other. I'm going to ask you to do something. When you come to the next workshop, put your feelings of whatever's in your head outside that door and put your people first. We're first. You represent all of us. And this is for all of you. It's for all of you. You represent us as a whole. We have to do better all the time, guys. And it starts with you. It all starts with you guys. Right? So represent better. But most of all, be kind to each other. Because you guys have to make this work. And that's what we elected you to do, and that is what we expect you to do. Okay? I don't want to bring up things that happened a few weeks ago. It's not necessary. But we need to move on, and we need to move forward quickly. Can we manage that? Because I would like to think we can. And I appreciate that. No.
Thank you, Janet. Appreciate it. Next up, Edward Gunzel.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here to try to get some answers. I've made numerous phone calls. I had a tenant, and the tenant stiffed me for $5,500 in back rent. Plus, I also had to pay my utilities because he stiffed me in that. Also, he did major damage to my house. I have over 100 pictures of damages that he's done. I've been trying to deal with the legal system, and I cannot get answers. The answers that I get are, we do not go after a tribal member. Well, the problem is, I'm a tribal member. I can't fix my house because I'm on fixed income. He owes me a lot of money,
Yeah,
and I've been
let's
trying to
not
get
mention who
help.
it is
I've
or
talked to
anything.
different lawyers. I have a judgment by a judge to collect these monies from this person, and I can't get help from tribal legal. I can't even get help from regular legal. And I'm just trying to find some answers, why I can't collect this funds from this gentleman that took me 2 years to evict him out of my house, and the vandalization that he did to my house, the damage that he did to my house, and the bills that I had to pay for me to move into my house. And like I said, I'm just trying to find some answers. All the answers I get are, we do not go after tribal members. You don't go after a tribal member, but you're going after me, because it was court ordered, and you don't want to, no one wants to defend me, no one wants to help me get my house fixed up. I have doors missing, cement floors. It was a mess, and that's all I'm trying to do, is find some answers why I can't get help, but he does get help by not paying for damages done to my house. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else, Michelle? Okay, so that concludes membership participation, so we'll drop down to presentations. First up are presentations on the life-saving awards. So Bob Marchand, going to bring your team up here and we'll talk about this. So if you guys could introduce yourself to the room first, that would be appreciated, then talk about the award, then talk about the individuals that you're, obviously wanting to award this award to. That would be much appreciated in the circumstances that they were involved in.
All right, I am actually going to introduce myself. I'm Chief Robert Barsham with the Sioux Tribe Police Department. I'm going to let Derek kind of field this award a little bit, because it was here at the casino that this happened, and security wanted to acknowledge our officers. So I also have a life-saving award, but I'm going to let Derek kind of go with his presentation, and then we're going to have everybody kind of come in, and I'll introduce them as they come in.
Okay, great.
Hello, my name's Derek Waddell. I'm Director of Security for the Quaden Casinos. What we're presenting today is life-saving awards for 2 officers and one of our security guards that responded to an incident in our hotel. Today, we're gathered to recognize 4 individuals we're recognizing whose courage, quick thinking, and commitment to protecting others made the difference between life and death. I'm going to tell you about 3 of the individuals now. Chief Marchand will inform you of the other individual. 3 individuals at the Quaden Casino, when faced with a critical emergency, police officers Harrison Thorne, Marissa Skinner, and security guard Joshua Nanan responded without hesitation. Their calm judgment, teamwork, and commitment to helping others made a profound difference when it mattered the most. On March 25th, 2026, at approximately 7:30 in the morning, Sioux Tribe officers and Quaden Casino security guards responded to a 911 call of an unresponsive female on the 6th floor of the hotel. Officers Thorne and Skinner were first to arrive and found the female lying on the floor between the beds. The female was not breathing, did not have a pulse, and was turning blue. Officers immediately began CPR. Security guard Joshua Nanan arrived with the AED and immediately applied it to the female. All 3 continued CPR and administered 2 shocks from the AED before EMS arrived. Due to their combined efforts, they were able to regain a pulse, and the female began breathing on her own before she was transported to the hospital. Their actions exemplify the highest standards of service, professionalism, and dedication. They demonstrated that true heroes are those who step forward in moments of need and act with courage and compassion. On behalf of our organizations and the Quaden Casino and the community, we extend sincere gratitude and appreciation for your outstanding efforts and selfless service. please join us in congratulating Officers Marissa Skinner, Harrison Thorne, and Security Guard Joshua Nanan as we present them with the life-saving awards.
A standing ovation.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Marissa?
Thank you.
Josh? Now, Chief?
All right, nobody leave, because I've got an award for each of you as well. When Derek had come to me requesting that we do this, I think it's a great idea. I think all too often we sometimes forget to acknowledge some of the positives that we do out there, whether it be in security or law enforcement, so I thought it was a great opportunity. And I was super excited about it until I started thinking like, oh boy, I better go back and make sure that, look at some of the things, make sure we're acknowledging everybody. And in that audit, Mr. Ryan Lubin, Officer Ryan Lubin, was included in that. So I thought it'd be appropriate that he be here tonight as well, because on January 16th of this year, he responded to a call where there was an unresponsive woman, went into the home, husband was already starting CPR, he was able to get the defibrillator out. I think you had one shock, proceeded then back into CPR when EMS arrived. On scene, they took over. But that lady regained her pulse. I think Ryan had actually communicated with her that she now has a pacemaker and is doing awesome. So I thought it'd be appropriate that we do him during this as well. I think that in law enforcement, we often measure our success by how many calls we went to, how many people we pulled over, how many problems we solved. And there really is no greater accomplishment than saving someone's life. So I think it was great. I think we're going to try to do a better job of acknowledging these things moving forward. But tonight is my honor to give all the officers one of our life-saving awards, and a pin to go along with that. So thank you guys. Like I said, there's no greater accomplishment than reuniting families, and each of you took action when it mattered most. So thank you. On behalf of the community, on behalf of law enforcement, appreciate it. Thank you. Marissa? Come on. Thank you. Harrison? Ryan Lubin? Thank you. And Aaron? Oh, sorry, Joshua. Appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, and next up is a presentation from the Sioux Tribe interns. So every year, the Sioux Tribe Education Department, they invest in our summer intern program, and it's one of the many ways that we invest in the next 7 generations. So this provides a workplace opportunity for college students to figure out whether or not they want to enter a certain field, and hopefully they want to come back and work for us. So Stephanie, I'm going to hand the floor to you. If you want to assemble the interns, we'll do a round of introductions.
Hi, everybody. Stephanie Sprecher, Education Director. I'm here, as Chairman Lowe said, to introduce our interns. Before I get into that, for those that are listening that aren't familiar with the program, I'll give a quick recap of the program and then we'll get into the introductions. Started in 1997, the Sioux Tribe Internship Program is designed to provide Sioux Tribe college students with a valuable experience where they can apply both their skills and learn new ones as they work in their fields of interest. Their internships provide them real-world experience and help them as they look for permanent employment upon graduating college in hopes that they all come back and work for us. This summer, we have 8 interns. All are majoring in different fields and have different plans for their future. We were lucky enough and are grateful to our Sioux Tribe program managers and directors for hosting these students. Again this year, for the second year in a row, we were able to place all of the students that are here with us in their first placement choice. And this is not always possible in a program like this, so it's exciting that we are able to give our students this hands-on experience directly in the field that they're interested in. The program is a total of 10 weeks long, with the interns working a regular full-time schedule. Their first day was last Monday, so they've been with us a little over a week. They had a full-day orientation on that Monday, followed by being at their work site on last Tuesday. The Sioux Tribe Education Division provides program oversight, and we work closely with all of the site supervisors of each intern to ensure that everything goes smoothly for them throughout the summer. Aside from their regular workday schedule, we provide opportunities and resources to ensure that they have the opportunity to be fully immersed with our culture. And we also plan several fun activities, so they not only work, but they have lots of fun too while they're here. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been happy as I witnessed them forming relationships amongst themselves with the different staff across all the departments, and we're excited to have them, and we hope that they're equally excited to be here. So at this time, I think the way we've done this in the past is we have the board members first. We'll go around the room, and if you could all introduce yourselves to the interns, and then I have one intern, is she online? That's online, so then we'll start the introductions of the interns. So Director Gravel, do you want to start?
I'll stand up when I do it. You can't see me. Hi, I'm Kim Gravel, Unit 1 Director. Welcome, and I hope you enjoy your summer with us and learn a lot. Thank you.
Anita, I'm Director Robert McCrory, Unit 1. Thanks for being with us, and thanks for choosing us to intern with.
Michael McCurchie, Unit 1. Thanks for being with us.
Lana Cosley-Smith, thanks for coming to be with us.
Austin Lowe's, Chairman of the Sioux Tribe. It's good to see you all again.
Kimberly Hampton, Unit 4, and thank you for being here.
Larry Barbeau, Unit 4. Thanks for coming, guys.
Kimberly Lee, Unit 2. Thanks for choosing us.
Isaac McKechnie, Board of Directors. Hey, did Stephanie explain to you, now you're under contract, you got to work for us the rest of your life?
Good afternoon. Sean Barevich from Unit 3. Thank you for being here.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
Just 1 second, Bridget, Aaron, Bridget, and then Aaron.
Okay. I'm Bridget Sorensen from Unit 3. Glad to have you aboard. I was with the class of 2002 interns. It was a great experience for me. I hope you guys also have that same great experience and come work for us. Thank you.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Yep, and I'm Aaron Payment, Unit 1 Council, former chairperson. I changed the name from chair intern to travel intern, and I wanted you to recognize that our executive director was, I think, in the first intern class, Jessica Dunback. So you could become our next executive director, like 20 years or 30 years from now.
CEO is what it is, CEO, so.
Yeah, I was trying.
Sorry about that.
I was trying not to age her and say that she was one of our 1997 interns, and she got to meet with the interns their first day and talk to them about that. So it's really cool to see how the program works. We had somebody who's now our CEO that started the first year in this program, so we did talk about that, didn't we? All right, did we get all the board members?
I believe we did.
Okay, so before we get going, I do want to note, Sam, did they get that list again of the interns? Okay, I had provided this in a previous report, but I just wanted you all to see, maybe as they're going through, you can see it firsthand, all the interns and their placements. I do want to note that we have one intern who is not able to join us tonight, so I'll briefly introduce her. She's unable to be due to a prior commitment. She is from California. Her name is Kayla Gutierrez. She's a senior at the University of California, Santa Cruz. She's majoring in creative technologies, and Kayla is placed in the communications department with our video production team under Joseph Street for the summer. And she's starting, due to some logistics with being from California, actually tomorrow. I meet with her tomorrow morning. So we're excited to have her, and again, with her major and being right in video productions, you guys are gonna see a lot of her this summer. So we're going to start out Cameron Peterson, if she's online. Before we open it up to Cameron, I did explain this earlier to the interns, but this is your time to introduce yourselves. I just ask that you state your name, what you're studying in school, what you're going for, or what you're going for, where you're going to school, and where you're placed this summer, and anything else you'd like to share, maybe how the first week has gone and what you're excited and to look forward to the rest of the summer. So before I open it up to the interns that are here with us, we do have Cameron Peterson. She actually, I don't remember the last time we've had an intern that we were able to place on the western end, and I think I mentioned this last month, but that's really exciting because it's showing that the successes we're having in Unit 1, we're able, staff talk, and they're having good experiences, so now we're able to start looking at placing, depending on our applicant pool, in other areas. So Cameron is working out of Unit 4. I don't want to introduce her, so I will let her step in. Cameron, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Cameron Pedersen. I'm from Fairport, Michigan. I go to the University of Michigan for biomedical engineering, and I want to use my education to help develop products and technologies to improve healthcare and quality of patients' lives.
Cameron, do you want to tell really quick, I know they have a full schedule, but where you're placed, exactly where you're placed on the western end and what you're doing a little bit there?
Oh, I'm placed in community health in Gladstone, and right now I've been looking at a lot of patient data. We just got a new system, so I'm helping transfer everything over right now, and I've been doing some home visits and observing.
Awesome. All right, thanks, Cameron. All right, next we're going to just go down the line here. We have Taylor Wheatley first. Taylor, if you want to step up.
Hi, my name is Taylor. I'm from Battle Creek, Michigan. I just graduated from Michigan State with a biochemistry and molecular biology degree. I'm hoping to go to grad school for biomedical science and hopefully medical school after that. Right now, I'm placed in their Wildlife Research Center. There's some pretty amazing people on that team. They've had me go out and check like the pine marten traps, and it's been a really cool experience so far, so I hope to learn more from it.
All right, Kennedy, go ahead.
Hi, my name's Kennedy Hagan. I'm from the Sioux here. I go to school at Lake State. I'm in the nursing program. This is my second year at community health here in the Sioux, so I was super excited to jump back in this summer, and this past week I was able to go back on home visits, help with med setups, taking vitals. I actually got to meet two of my clients that I'll be seeing this summer, jumped into foot care, so I'm super excited for the summer and to learn more.
Hello, my name is David Daly. I'm also from the Sioux, and this is also my second year with this program. I attend Central Michigan University for secondary social studies education, and I'm placed out JKL school in the morning and YEA in the afternoon, and right now I'm just waiting for summer school to start and in the mornings, and in the afternoon I'm helping with some budget tracking for grants.
Hi, I'm Finley Hudacek. I study learning, equity, and problem solving for the public good through the education school at the University of Michigan. And I also have minors in Native American Studies and sociology. And right now I'm placed at JKL and then Sioux Tribe Early Head Start, where I'm kind of shadowing their family service specialist. So yeah, I hope to work in social services one day, hopefully. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Gabby Woodard. I'm from Sault Ste. Marie. I'm attending Lake Superior State into my senior year for biology. I'm currently placed in natural resource fisheries, where we've been prepping to drain the pond starting this week. And so far.
Hello, I'm Sawyer Dowd. I'm a law student. I just finished my first year at Michigan State University. I'm placed in the legal department. I'm tasked right now with, I'm looking over the codes, and also I'm doing some research into public defense offices in other tribes. My main interest in the legal field is the intersection of public defense and tribal law. I'm from here. I worked at the domestic violence shelter here for about 2.5 years, so I'm also really interested in that field of law. Thank you.
And Sawyer's my stepson.
So again, I just want to say thank you for allowing us to come here today. When I talked about some fun activities earlier, one of them was having them sit through this entire board meeting to experience governance firsthand. I think it's really important they get the full picture. So they're going to stay throughout the meeting. And again, thank you.
All right, thank you, all of you, for being here, for selecting the Sioux Tribe for your internship. And like some of them mentioned, I hope you look for us for employment when you're done with school. So that brings us to minutes. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the minutes from 6/2 of 26. Motion by Isaac, support by Rob. Any discussion on these minutes? Hearing none, those in support signify by saying aye. Those opposed, those abstaining, motion carries and those minutes are adopted. That brings us to resolutions. The first one is titled Facilities CapEx FY 2026 Budget Mod.
Be it resolved that the Board of Directors of the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians hereby approves the FY 2026 budget modification to facilities capital expenditures for an increase of $1,260,600. This increase will come from facilities fund balance.
Motion.
Motion by Isaac, support by Kim Hampton. Andrew?
Andrew Lane with Director of Facilities. So I am requesting to increase the capital outlays budget in the amount of $1.26 million. These additional funds will support critical repairs, renovations, and infrastructure improvements necessary to maintain established tribal facilities to ensure that they continue serving the tribe effectively and safely.
Okay, I appreciate that. Any questions or comments from the board? Kim?
I would like to make a motion to amend to take out the Greeno building and Inland A and B, because back in January, we were told the improvements would cost $10,000, and between the two, they're $1 million. Is that right? 100,000, sorry. 100,000. So that's quite a jump from what we were told when we agreed to this. And I think that money could be better spent building a high school on the property at JKL instead of putting $100,000 into 3 old buildings. And I know I'm going to get the argument that the buildings need improvements, but that isn't what we were told back in January. It was $10,000. It was January 7th. I went back and looked at the minutes. So I'm going to make a motion to amend to remove those 3. Somebody wants to second it?
I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion and support to amend this resolution to exclude what buildings?
Greeno, Inland A, and Inland B, and bring them back for more discussion, those 3 buildings, because they do need improvements, but we were told it would only take $10,000 to make improvements.
Okay, so we'll have a board discussion. Aaron, then Isaac.
Yeah, so here's the score. We are responsible for our facilities and our land. And when we have vacant buildings, the program funds that generally come from the federal government can't be spent on a vacant building. So everything gets moved over to what's called tribal ops. So you're paying for a vacant building. That makes no sense. Greeno got vacated because Natural Resources moved up to 3 Mile. And so you're paying for space cost out of tribal ops, whether you have a paying customer, paying client, paying grant source or not. It makes no sense to leave buildings vacant. And the tribal court, old tribal court building, so I'm going back in time there, the old cop shop is also a vacant building that tribal ops has to cover. Our facilities staff brought forward the cost. I know it's been said that we were told it was $10,000, but that's not correct. When our facilities director brought that forward, it was, I think, $100,000. So we know it's going to cost money, and we have to do it anyway. So motioning or, taking those 3 items off is delaying what we have to do anyway. So anyway, board members have the prerogative to vote for things. If they support it, they don't support it. We're long past this opposition to a high school. And so, the people want this. They told us this 30 years ago. We just had our 30th anniversary celebration for JKL. Not everybody went, by the way, but we have a very strong support in our community to do what we do very, very well and very successfully, and that's to educate our own people. Why we want to delay that or stall that, you know, and if we stall the construction or renovation of that building, then all of those students that are in 8th grade now that want to go to 9th grade next year, or all of those kids that had the promise for 30 years are going to be delayed for no good reason. We have to renovate the building anyway. You know, we're not going to wait until we build a brand new high school. Of course, we should be looking for new funding to build a new high school, but you know, that I feel like it's a delay tactic to get off schedule to not have our high school by fall. I don't appreciate that. This is what the people want. Thanks.
Isaac?
Hey, Kim, I just want to clarify, you said it was roughly $1 million.
I corrected myself and said 100,000.
Yeah, what I come up with is 750, so is it 100,000 or is it 750?
750.
Okay,
Yep, sorry.
so now I understand. Hey, Andrew, how much do we currently spend on vacant buildings? I think the estimate that I seen was $2.5 to $3 million. So now we're gonna add 3 more buildings to that.
They're already on there.
I think between the community center, tribal ops covering vacant and community spaces, do you want to?
The funds that we pay out of tribal ops for vacant spaces, just over $2 million last year.
Does that include the property in New Boston? Yes?
That would be accounted for in facilities, and then it would.
Well, it's well over $2 million.
Yes.
So now we're gonna vote not to fix these buildings. So how are you gonna fund to just take care of them? I mean, if you can't fix them, right? I mean, we're talking Greeno, that was our first office. And you wanna just leave it dilapidated and fall down? Because that's it's almost on the verge of that now, isn't it, Andrew?
It does need a lot of work, yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm good.
Mike?
I guess I'm going to start off with the fact that Kim didn't say anything about leaving these vacant. She said she wanted to pull them to have more discussion, and I don't think there's anything wrong with having more discussion. January, we did have the discussion several times because I made the argument that 10,000 was not going to be enough to update these buildings up to code. I don't oppose a high school expansion at all. I just want to do it the right way. Putting money into those buildings, I think we needed a broader discussion. I think that 10,000 wasn't, and seeing this now, it's now 250,000, and it's stating only for phase 1. So we don't even have a whole picture of what phase 2 looks like, or if there's additional phases. So that kind of money, $250,000, I think we should have explored, and I stated it in January, so I'm stating it again now. We should have explored financing options on building it right. Even if it was going to be costly, throwing $250,000 down on something, I think to finance something would have been a better option than those 2 buildings where they're located and whatnot. So having a further discussion on it, because I believe we're having a discussion on all of our vacant buildings coming up shortly within the next upcoming months, I don't think that's, it's not about leaving them dilapidated. I want to address it too. I just throwing $500,000 towards Greeno building, I think needs a further discussion too. So I support taking this off to have that further discussion. Yield.
Kim?
Okay, Mike just pretty much said what I was going to say also, but I'm not incorrect in saying we were told $10,000. January 7th, I went back to the meeting minutes. I have a picture on my phone of when Andrew come and spoke to us, because my argument was you can't even put a ramp in for almost $10,000. So we knew it was going to cost more, and then this was sticker shock when it came to us. So that is why I made the motion to amend, to remove them, because I do feel we need more discussion on it. Thank you.
Bridget?
Well, I agree with what Kim and Mike have said. I don't think anybody tonight has said anything about not wanting to proceed with a high school. It was just from the beginning, I know a few of us had said, if we're gonna do that, why don't we look at building a brand-new building? As far as Greeno being our first building, I don't think that by pulling it off and having more discussion, it may be in our best interest to do something else, whether it's demo the building and consolidate for more space for all these different needs that we have in the tribe. I understand that some people have, you know, emotional attachment to the first building, but we've had discussions about other buildings like that as well. But I think members expect us to do our due diligence if we're spending $500,000 on an old building versus putting that $500,000 maybe into a new structure. And those buildings that now are on this list were also people vacated. We put NRC or natural resources into a new building that they're going in. So people vacated because there was issues. That's been back and forth, but I think we are only asking for more discussion, that's all.
Lana, then Rob.
Yeah, yeah. We had a workshop on this last week or the week before, and we discussed and we talked about prioritizing things that needed to happen, and we talked about, I think Mike mentioned it, we talked about having the all buildings discussion, because I specifically asked that we look at prioritizing what our needs are based on the condition and also the discussion about space costs. I too didn't hear Director Gravel say that she wasn't in favor of doing anything. It's just to delay a little while till we have that bigger discussion. There's nothing wrong with that. We had a very good exercise this afternoon about not passing something a couple weeks later after everybody was comfortable. I think it was a unanimous vote. So just taking a little more time to study things and come up with the best options, there's nothing wrong with that. And to characterize something that we're just putting it off and don't support something, that's not fair. So I too will support the amendment of taking those out, looking at the big discussion about space costs and the other buildings that need renovation, because there's other buildings that need renovation. So I too can remember when my dad was around and he was on the board and there's those back stairs on Greeno. I can remember running up and down those stairs actually with the oldest Bashore boy there. I can't remember who, Alan. So, it does mean something, so, to a lot of people, and I completely understand that, but I also respect that we can have a little more discussion about it, and that doesn't mean that we're not in support of fixing up properties, because we are. We also do have budget constraints on things, so that's where I'm at. So before, I read anything anywhere, I wanted to speak about that, and I appreciate you bringing these things forward, Andrew, but I don't think that you'll, I think you'll respect that we do need a little bit more discussion.
Okay, Rob, and am I missing anyone?
Yeah, me.
Okay, Rob, then Aaron, then I'll say some words. Go ahead, Rob.
I'm gonna yield. I already heard the comments I was gonna make.
Okay, go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, so first of all, Andrew, did you say the old tribal court cop shop was only gonna cost $10,000 to renovate?
I cannot recall exactly that, but I know that there were some preliminary discussions talked about from meeting with JKL staff and tribal staff on site, and them asking me if we only had to replace doors and very basic stuff to get the building up and running again. And I believe that might be part of the conversation, but once they fully invested into it, from my understanding, that's when I dug deeper into it and started doing more research on what is required for schools, and that's where these numbers came from, preliminary investigations for it.
So a follow-up question is, I think I recall you saying something around $100,000 back when you first presented. I do recall that you were saying the doors, so it's a little disjointed to say it was only 10,000 when your facilities director just clarified that he was talking about the doors. Also I wanted to say my support for correcting the Malcolm misreporting issue to the BIA is conditional. The thing is, people are saying, some are saying that this is a delay, we're going to have a, come together, we're going to figure it all out, whatever. But the problem is, it's June. And so the school has to adopt their annual budget, and we have to plan for the fall school year. And then we have to do enrollment. So we have to do a call out for enrollment. That needs to be happening right now. So if we delay construction on a project, even for just 2 weeks, maybe for a month, whatever, till people can figure out their support, it'll be too late. And so make no mistake, if you vote to take this item off the agenda, you are voting to delay the ninth grade opening for JKL for the fall. Whether that's your intent or not, there's basic project management and construction projects. You have to post for construction. We have our own procurement. You then have to do the construction and renovations. We have enough time to do that right now. We will not have enough time to do that if we delay it for 2 weeks or 4 weeks. And the other thing is, I'm not aware that anybody submitted anything to Andrew from the last time we talked about it till now about what they need to make the decision. So you're hearing that we don't have enough information or we don't have all the information, but Andrew did a comprehensive job as the director of facilities to present what we needed to know in order to do the renovations. He did say that he overestimated the cost as potential contingencies. We workshopped this, we went through it in detail, and so I don't support tabling those items off of this agenda because it's going to delay it. And make no mistake, for all of the constituents of JKL, everybody that's been waiting for this high school since 1992, which is what we applied for the BIA to do, you're putting off ninth grade. It will not happen in the fall if we delay it past tonight.
Okay.
And mark my words, you don't have to believe me now, but watch what happens.
Okay, so I'm going to say a couple things. So Andrew, what's your title? And I'm not going to put you in the middle of the board more than I need to, but I'm going to highlight your expertise and highlight the fact that you're the only one in this room qualified to let us know whether or not projects are too expensive to renovate. Like, your job is to maintain the Sioux Tribe facilities. We do renovations all the time, right?
Yes.
How many buildings do you think you maintain?
I actually have the list of, there's 26 that we, 26 facilities,
So you
ranging
manage
in size.
26 facilities, so during the ARPA years, you probably also manage millions, if not tens of millions of dollars of upgrades to these buildings, right?
Yes.
So you probably know what's unreasonable to fix, what isn't. We've done some projects where we've recommended demo, some projects where we've recommended renovation, so you have that expertise, in my opinion. So what we're talking about is moving out of 3 buildings, and the reason we're moving out of them is because the previous tenants were the employees of the Natural Resource Division. So we have space issues throughout the tribe, and we didn't have a vacant building where we could keep that entire division of the tribe under one roof. So we had to house them piecemeal. A handful of staff over here, handful of staff over here, handful of staff over here. So we get ARPA dollars, and we use a portion of those dollars to build a natural resource building, which is fantastic, and it's gonna cause those buildings to go empty. So in the Sioux Tribe, we have a real big problem of leaving buildings empty and then not doing anything with them. That's what the source of anxiety is. It's not because, well, we think that they might go empty, it's that there's a documented history of them. So we have the old Shedwin building, we have Malcolm High School, we have the Forest building, we have the Sibley property, and the list would go on. Like they already mentioned that we spend about $2 million a year on empty space. So we knew from the point that we decided we were going to build a natural resource building, a new building, that those properties would be vacated and that we'd have to have a choice whether or not demolish them or renovate them. Because what we have to do is create additional room for staff. So for the Greeno room, our building, how many staff members are going to be in there?
10?
10, okay. So how much is it gonna cost to renovate that?
Preliminary costs around $500,000.
So do you think it would be more expensive to build a new building to house 10 employees, or to spend the $500,000 to renovate the building that we have, so we also don't have an eyesore on Portage Avenue in Sault Ste. Marie? Because that's what it will become if we don't do anything with it.
Renovation costs are roughly $125 to $150, depending on the type of remodel you're doing. And new construction costs are anywhere from $350 to $750 a square foot for the tribe. It's not quite like that outside of the tribe, but everything we've gotten in the tribe over the
expensive.
last 5-6 years has ranged in that ballpark.
So how much do you think it would cost to demolish that building and build a similar building with similar space to house 10 employees?
Millions.
Millions. So in your opinion, this is the most cost-effective way to house 10 employees within the Sioux tribe?
Yes.
Okay, and we don't have a rotting building with no plan, which we already have several of those in Unit 1. So, I mean, to me, this is a no-brainer, you guys. You guys are busting at the seams when it comes to office space. We had to buy the Roy Electric building and convert that into office space for the health division. Other areas of the tribe are experiencing similar space issues. He's stating here on the record in front of a camera, that's the most cost-effective way to provide that space for your staff. And he's saying that in the position of maintaining all your buildings. He's a facilities manager. So I'm not qualified
Mr.
to
Chair, I
make
have a
these
point of
decisions.
inquiry.
Yeah, go ahead.
My point of inquiry is, and I apologize because I'm at NCAI and I'm in and out on sessions. Did anybody raise any concerns during the agenda review with our facilities manager today?
No, but we didn't go through it because we've already workshopped it. But anyways, what I'm getting at is you have space issues. This is the most cost-effective way to provide space for your employees. You have an expert within the tribe giving his professional recommendation. The CFO is sitting right next to him. This is the professional recommendation from staff. So I'm going to support that. So we'll do roll call, please. Yeah, I speak last, please.
Speak all the time. I speak again. I didn't speak 2 times.
Roll call, please.
I didn't speak 2 times, Mr.
I
Chair.
asked if anyone had any comments before that, and you've been on this board a long time. Parliamentary rules
Yeah.
dictate that I speak last.
Correct. Orders of the day.
Yeah, sometimes I have to redirect the conversation, but I speak last.
Okay, Sean,
We voting on the amendment here?
the
Just the
amendment to
amendment,
take
yep.
out Greeno, Inland, A and B.
No.
Lana,
Yes.
Isaac,
No.
Kimberly Hampton,
No.
Aaron,
No.
Michael,
Yes.
Rob,
No.
Kimberly Gravel,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Bridget,
Yes.
Ty, oh, whoops, he's not here. Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
6 yeses, 5 noes.
Okay, so the motion to take those buildings out passes, so now we're voting on the resolution minus those 3 buildings in Sault Ste. Marie to get the renovation. So Kim, I have you down as a speaker, so you've spoken once on this issue. We can allow it twice, just as an FYI if you want to get back on the speaking list. But does anyone have any questions, comments before we vote? Okay, roll call, please.
Sean,
Yeah.
Lana,
Yes.
Isaac,
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Bridget,
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Carried.
Okay, motion carries. Let's get those 3 buildings on a workshop. Let's try to figure out a plan, because the last thing I want is 3 more buildings in Sault Ste. Marie falling apart in front of us. So the next item that we have on the agenda is titled Health Johns Hopkins Pilot Project FY 2026 Budget.
Be it resolved that the Board of Directors of the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians hereby approves the FY 2026 budget for John Hopkins Family Spirit Syphilis Pilot Project with other revenue from ITC of $5,400, no effect on tribal support.
Support.
Motion by Alana, support by Larry. Let's see here. Laura, could you present on this, please? Thank you. It has to go green.
Oh, sorry. It's been a long time since I've had to do this. This is just some extra funding from Intertribal Council of Michigan to work with our already established Family Spirit program. And it's just enhancing the program, adding a little bit more information to do at-home syphilis testing with the families.
Okay, I appreciate it. Any questions, comments from the board? Hearing none, those in support signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion carries. Thanks, Laura. All right, next resolution is Big Bear / Health Third Party FY 2026 Budget Mod.
Be it resolved that the Board of Directors of the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians hereby approves the FY 2026 budget modification to Big Bear Building Operations to add the transfer in of funds from third-party revenue of $17,599. Be it further resolved that the Board of Directors of the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians hereby approves the FY 2026 budget modification to third-party revenue to transfer out of funds to Big Bear Building Operations in the amount of $17,599.
Motion.
Okay, motion by Isaac. Support by Larry. Tammy, could you explain this resolution to our membership, please?
Good evening, Tammy Graham, the Recreation Director. This resolution is to request funding for two projects that directly support the Health Division's Fitness Center, Physical Therapy, and the Medical Fitness Program that are located inside the Big Bear Arena. And the two projects include replacing the transition pieces on the inside and outside of our walking track, and then replacing the shower heads and temperature controls inside the Women's Fitness Center locker room.
Okay, thank you, Tammy. Any questions, comments from the board? Okay, hearing none, those in support signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next resolution is IT Cybersecurity Grant FY 2026 and 2027 budget.
Be it resolved that the Board of Directors of the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians hereby approves the FY 2026 budget for IT cybersecurity grant with State of Michigan revenue of $37,557.75, no effect on tribal support. Be it further resolved that the Board of Directors of the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians hereby approves the FY 2027 budget for IT cybersecurity grant with State of Michigan revenue of $112,673.25, no effect on tribal support.
Motion.
Motion by Isaac, supported by Larry. Sean, are you going to be providing a presentation on this?
I don't have anything official to say, but this is really just a budget to support our cybersecurity platform moving forward.
Okay.
And we'd just like to receive the grant.
Okay, I appreciate it. Any questions, comments from the board? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Lana,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Kimberly Lee,
Yes.
Bridget,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Isaac,
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton,
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. The next resolution is cleaning contract with Hunt's Maintenance.
Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Directors approves entering into a contract with Hunt's Maintenance and Services. Be it further resolved that the Board of Directors authorizes the chairman of the tribe or their designee to enter into and execute the contract and any supporting documents to fulfill the intent of this resolution.
Motion.
Motion by Isaac, support by Larry. Andrew, could you please explain this to the board as well?
Yeah, Facilities Management requests to approve a multi-year contract for a multi-facility cleaning contract between the tribe and the Hunt's Maintenance and Services. The contract will provide cleaning services for the following types of facilities: administrative, health, childcare, and community buildings. And this is across all counties that the tribe operates in. And it did go through the procurement policy, and the bid recommendation is attached, and, yeah,
And this came in $1 million less than the next person, right?
yes.
Okay. All right, questions, comments from the board? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Rob,
Yes.
Kimberly Lee,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Isaac,
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel,
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton,
Yes.
Michael, Sean,
Yes.
Lana,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. The next resolution is authorizing health to apply Indian Health SAP.
Now therefore it be resolved that the Sioux Tribe Board of Directors hereby approves and supports the Health Division's fiscal year 2025 and fiscal year 2027 Small Ambulatory Program, SAP, applications for funding to assist with the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe Health Center Annex and Expansion Project. Be it further resolved that the Board of Directors authorizes the tribal chairman and/or the Health Division Chief Executive Officer or their designee to prepare, submit, negotiate, execute, and administer any applications, agreements, certifications, assurances, or other documents necessary to secure and implement SAP funding. Be it finally resolved that the Board of Directors supports the Health Division's continued efforts to pursue federal, state, tribal, and private funding opportunities that advance healthcare infrastructure improvements and expand access to healthcare services for tribal members and eligible beneficiaries.
Motion.
Motion by Isaac. Support. Support by Larry. Annie, could you explain this to the membership, please?
Yes, hello, and good evening, everybody, and happy birthday, Mr. Chairman. This is an application through IHS to apply for their small ambulatory program. It's $3.5 million, and that funding will help with the expansion renovation project of the current Sault Ste. Marie Health Center.
Thank you so much. Any questions, comments from the board on this? Okay, roll call, please.
Kimberly Gravel. Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Michael. Isaac.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Next resolution is health, approving contractor for flooring project.
Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Directors of the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians hereby approves awarding the contract to JAMA Development LLC in the amount of $91,801.48 for the Manistique Health Center flooring project. Be it further resolved that the legal department will assist the Health Division in negotiations of the contract with JAMA Development LLC. Be it finally resolved that the Board of Directors authorizes the tribal chairman or his designee to execute any documents necessary, once approved by the legal department, subject that it does not require additional approval from the Board of Directors under any applicable tribal laws or policies to carry out the intent of this resolution.
Motion. Support.
Motion by Larry, supported by? Isaac. Isaac, okay. Okay, Annie, could you explain this one as well?
Absolutely. So this is kind of it's a project that is going to replace 7,387 square feet of flooring at the Manistique Health Center. We received these money from the BMAR, IHS BMAR, which is Backlog of Essential Maintenance, Alteration, and Repair. We received $1.4 million for several different buildings across the 7-county service area. This is one of those projects. It did go through the procurement process, and now we are just looking to enter into contract once this resolution is passed.
Okay, thanks, Annie. Any questions, comments from the board? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Larry.
Yes.
Michael.
Yes.
Bridget.
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Rob.
Yes.
Kimberly Gravel.
Yes.
Isaac.
Yes.
Kimberly Lee.
Yes.
Sean.
Yes.
Lana.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Motion carries. The next resolution is residential land lease modification, Suggit. Thanks, Annie. Have a good night.
Thanks, Annie.
Now therefore be resolved, the Board of Directors of the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians hereby authorizes its tribal chairman and treasurer to execute the lease modification to the land located at Kinchelo, Michigan, to Joseph Suggit Sr. and Amy L. Pollard, the land being described as Township of Kinross, County of Chippewa, State of Michigan, part of Section 29, and south half Section 20, Township 45, North, Range 1W, Lot 930, Cedar Grove Estates 3. Be it finally resolved, the lease is in furtherance of a housing program operated in the promotion of the public purpose, and the negotiated rental amount has been determined to be in the best interest of the tribe and its people, and valuation in accordance with 25 CFR 162.320 is hereby waived.
Motion.
Motion by Isaac, support by Larry. Helen, could you explain this to our membership, please?
Yes, Helen Wilkin, Director of Commercial Real Estate and Property Management for EDC and Sioux Tribe. This is a resolution requested by the tribal member that resides at 20 John Patrick, Joseph Suggit Sr. He is requesting to remove Amy L. Pollard from the below-mentioned land lease. This has been reviewed and is considered to be in the best interest of the tribe and its citizens.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, comments from the board? Hearing none, those in support signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion carries.
Migration.
Thanks, Alan. Have a good night.
Thank you.
The next resolution is application to 2026 Tribal Youth Initiative Program.
Now therefore be resolved, the Sioux Tribe Board of Directors approves the Natural Resources Division to apply for up to $50,000 in BIA TYI program funding. Be it further resolved that the Board of Directors hereby authorizes and approves the chairman of the tribe or their designee to execute any and all documents as may be necessary and appropriate to carry out the terms, conditions, and intent of this resolution.
Motion.
Okay, motion by Isaac, support by Lana. Danny, could you explain this resolution to our membership, please?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Danny Fagan. I'm the Director of the Natural Resources Division. With this resolution, we're seeking approval to apply to the Tribal Youth Initiative Program through the BIA funding pool. With this funding, we would aim to provide hunter safety education and certification while incorporating elements of tribal harvest regs, our own regs, cultural teachings, responsible stewardship, and wildlife conservation principles.
Yep, so you guys heard it right. The Sioux Tribe Natural Resource Division is going to be hosting hunter safety. So if you guys have any children that are interested in hunting, being a parent myself, I know it's difficult to find that course, which is a requirement if you're going to get a license under the age of 18. So it's a wonderful opportunity to learn these skills and learn them in a setting that highlights treaty rights and Indigenous values. So does anyone of the Board of Directors have any questions or comments on this resolution? Okay, Rob?
I just wanted to restate what I did in the agenda review, and that Danny clarified that the funding was specific to Unit 1, but I requested that we work with our YEA to provide transportation for youth that want to attend here, and so I think that would be a good thing.
Sure.
Okay, anyone else?
Hey, I think she's got a clarification.
Sorry, yeah, am I allowed to speak?
Go ahead, Danny.
I
Yep.
apologize. Rob, with this funding, we would be looking for funding across the service area and the northern lower. This year, we're scraping together 2 courses, one in Unit 1, and then one maybe out in either Manistee or Munising or somewhere else.
Oh, they were separate?
Yep,
Okay,
sorry.
so we'll work with the YEA to see if we could provide funding for this year then?
Yeah, we're gonna try and geographically spread it out so we can give more folks an opportunity across the service area.
Awesome, thank you, Danny.
It's an awesome service. Like, they just hosted one locally, not them, but another organization. But for the most part, like, if you want your kid to get a hunting safety certificate, they take it online now, and they take a quiz at the end of it. There's not a field day where they get experience handling firearms in a safe way, so this is awesome. Those in support signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion carries. The next resolution is application to Fish Hatchery Maintenance Program.
Now therefore be resolved, the Sioux Tribe Board of Directors authorizes the Natural Resources Division to apply for $150,000 in BIA Fish Hatchery Maintenance Program funding. Be it further resolved that the Board of Directors hereby authorizes and approves the chairman of the tribe or their designee to execute any and all documents as may be necessary and appropriate to carry out the terms, conditions, and intent of this resolution.
Motion.
Okay, motion by Larry, support by Lana. Danny?
Similarly, we're seeking permission to apply to this program. This program's an annual funding opportunity from the BIA Fish, Wildlife, and Recreation Program. It provides for maintenance, which ensures that the hatcheries remain operational and sustainable. We're looking to apply for up to $150,000, which is what we normally request. We don't always receive the full amount, but some of our priority projects for this funding request would be to improve gravity-run fish transfer systems out at Barbeau, which is an important feature at Barbeau, drill a second well at Barbeau so we have a backup, and then modify Nuns Creek to incorporate stream water, improving homing ability for the fish that are reared there.
Yep, very exciting, and for those of you guys that aren't familiar with our fish rearing ponds, they're going to be pulling the fish out, I believe next week. So we raise 2 species, whitefish and walleye. In a good year, we raise about 1 million walleye. Whitefish not as much because it's still experimental, around 100,000, and there's so much misinformation around the media about the impact negatively that tribal gillnet operations have on the resource, but what people don't know is that we invest so much into that resource, and this is one of the many ways that we do so. So we're going to try to get a news story out of that as well, so it'll be something very exciting. Isaac?
Yeah, let's just hope the yield's a little bit better than last year.
I think things are looking good right
Good,
now,
good.
knock on wood.
Yeah.
It's not
And
jinxed,
if nobody's ever been out there, it's a unique operation. It's really unique. So get out there.
So for those of you guys that are watching online, there'll be a flyer, I'm sure. It's going to be a public event, and Board of Directors, make it out there too. It's something awesome. Support your division. So anything else? Okay, those in support signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Motion carries. Thanks, Danny.
Thanks.
The next resolution is negotiate and hire of key employee.
Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Directors of the Sault Ste. Marie Tribe of Chippewa Indians hereby approves the Governmental Human Resources Director to negotiate an offer to hire the selected candidate for the position of Chief Judge with negotiated conditions within the parameters discussed at the workshop and as attached.
Okay, appreciate that. Is there a motion and a second?
Motion.
Motion by Rob, seconded by Isaac. Ashley, could you explain this first, please?
Ashley Samuelson, the HR Director for Governmental. This resolution requests approval to offer and negotiate an offer of employment for the selected candidate for Chief Judge based on the conditions discussed in today's workshop.
Okay, any questions, comments from the board? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
Sean,
Yes.
Kimberly Gerville,
Yes.
Lana,
Yes.
Isaac,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Kimberly Lee,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Aaron,
Abstain.
Michael,
Yes.
Bridget,
Yes.
Kimberly Hampton.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. That concludes all the resolutions. That brings us to new business. Under new business, I'd like to entertain a motion to appoint Gene Kennedy as an alternate to the Unit 4 Manistee Elders Subcommittee.
Motion.
Motion by Isaac, support by Larry. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in support signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining, motion carries. That brings us to our Cultural Committee. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the resignation of Wayne Sums. His term was expiring October of '28.
Wayne Sums.
Wayne Sums, I
Motion.
apologize. Motion by Isaac.
Support.
Support by Larry. Any discussion on this? Isaac?
Just like to thank Wayne for his service.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else? Those in support signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, those abstaining, motion carries. So that concludes all the items that we have on today's agenda. Without objection, meeting adjourned. Seeing no objection, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
I just want to say thank you to Sean and Kim Hampton for their service for the last 4 years.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kim.
Yeah, miigwech.